The movie starts with Mr. Vasikaran and his team of two members assembling and testing an advanced robot at their laboratory. This robot is the dream of Mr. Vasikaran and has been working on this project since a very long time, and currently it is successful. And the intention of Mr. Vasikaran is to present these robots to the army, and instead of losing human lives as soldiers, we can deploy robots in the place of soldiers and protect the country. Sana, his girlfriend, is trying to reach Vasikaran since a very long time, but he is busy with this robot project and was not attending to her. She is angry on this. Finally, after assembling and giving all the inputs to the robot, he gives a human outlook which looks similar to him. He then takes the robot to his house, and everyone will be astonished to see a twin-like figure to Vasikaran. And finally, they will come to know that it is a robot and feel surprised. Since it is a robot, it follows the instructions as is without any deviation. Vasikaran's mom asks robot to switch on the TV and throw it. It follows as is without any changes. After finishing breakfast, Vasikaran goes to barber shop with the robot. The robot reads all the books at the salon in seconds. With just a scan, everyone will be astonished to see this memory. Then Vasikaran goes to see Sana and reconcile with her. But she initially was reluctant to be in love with Vasikaran and wants to break up. Then later she realizes her love for him and continues the relationship. Later Vasikaran takes the robot, now after called as Chitti, to International Robotic Conference, and everyone is astonished to see the memory and the intelligence of Chitti in various fields such as science, mathematics, physics, music, dance, and every area. Sana feels very happy after seeing Vasikaran's creation, whereas Mr. Doa, DRDO chief, and Mr. Vasikaran's guru is jealous about Vasikaran's creation. He plans to take the schema from the robo, so he takes the robo aside and asks his details. Later, he questions about its schema. However, robo the Chitti goes to Vasikaran and tells that Mr. Dora is asking about his schema, which is confidential. In response, Mr. Vasikaran says he don't want to disclose his schema until the patent is issued because anyone can misuse. Back at Dora's laboratory, he has lot of robots prepared to sell to the terrorists to use in illegal activities, but they are not working as per his expectations. He is frustrated with their performance and scolds the robot. It fails to shoot or walk as per the instructions. Impressed by Chitti's performance after the conference, Sana requests Vasikaran and takes Chitti to her home. No one believes at first that he was a robot. Later, he removes his head and shows. Then Sana's mom comes to know that he is a robot. He then decorates the house of Sana and prepares multiple dishes for dinner for her. He helps her in the preparation. While their preparation is still going on, a batch of teenagers from the neighborhood ons the music and plays at a louder voice, and the people in the home were not able to prepare for the upcoming exams. Sana and Chitti goes to them and fight with them, stops the music. After stopping this batch from playing loud music, they come home to resume their preparation. However, another batch from the nearby location start playing heavy music. When they go and request to stop, they won't. Robo has to fight again to stop them. However, Sana's level of preparation is not sufficient to appear and pass the exam. For this, Robo gives an alternative option so that he will communicate the answers to her through a Bluetooth device so that she can write the answers while he is doing so by sitting in the lawn. Two professors notice Robo sitting in the lawn and helping somebody. When they question, he tells the entire truth. When they go to Sana, she tells that she is not aware of who he is. That means she lies and throws away the Bluetooth. However, through other way around, Robo helped Sana to complete the exam. On their way back to home, Sana apologizes to Chitti for lying. In the meantime, the group from yesterday's fight will attack Chitti and Sana and throw the Sana's bag in the river. And Sana's bag is very important for her since it has all the hall tickets and IDs to attend for the exams. When she mentions this to Robo, he goes into water and brings back the bag. In the meantime, they try to molest Sana. However, Chitti manages to get back on train in time and saves Sana. On the other hand, since the very beginning, the assistants of Vasikaran did not like Chitti. They always tries to tease him in whatever way possible. Following day, Chitti is taken to AIRD for its assessment. All the panel members except Mr. Dora approves Chitti and are very happy with it. Mr. Dora asks Chitti to perform various tasks and finally he asks to kill Vasikaran. When he is about to kill, he stops Chitti from killing. Through this, Mr. Dora proves that Chitti is very dangerous to mankind and he cannot be approved. So every panelist agrees with Mr. Dora and leaves the place. Mr. Vasikaran is very much disappointed by the result. On their way back home, they find the fire in the building and the fire department is not able to save the people in the building because of heavy fires happening. So Mr. Vasikaran asks Chitti to go and save the people in the building without harming anybody. He does so and saves all the people. But when he is about to save a girl, she is not having any clothes on her. She is taking bath. He is not having sense of not having clothes and he protects and saves the girl. But the girl feels ashamed and humiliated. She then goes back into the fire and kills herself. This brings a very bad name for Robo. In the meantime, Mr. Dora calls Vasikaran and tells him after this incident he can never get approval for Chitti. Back at his laboratory during that night, Mr. Vasikaran is so disappointed by the latest development. In the meantime, Mr. Dora visits his laboratory and tells Mr. Vasikaran that this is a robot. He cannot have feelings or can understand human emotions. So, taking this as a challenge, Mr. Vasikaran tries to develop feelings and emotions in the robot so that it can react to the human emotions and take the corrective actions. He works day and night on rewriting his schema and inbuilding feelings and emotions into Chitti. As a process, he introduces to various emotions and processes of human life cycle. After few days, he gets very successful in rebuilding Chitti and with emotions and feelings this time. First emotion he sees is anger in Chitti. This makes Vasikaran very happy that his experiment is successful. Chitti then goes to the cemetery of girl who died in the fire accident and pay his condolences. In the meantime, Sana receives a call from the hospital and they mention that The pregnant lady from the home is under labor pain and needs immediate surgery, otherwise, mother and baby's life will be in danger. Hearing this entire conversation at the hospital, Chitti offers to help and do the normal delivery. Initially, doctor does not agree to Chitti's proposal, but later, after understanding his precise explanation from second to second, she agrees and Chitti successfully does the procedure and saves both the kid and the mother. Everyone is happy with the Chitti's work, and Vasikaran as well as Chitti get great appreciation from the media and people around. Hearing about Chitti performing the procedure, Dr. Dora reaches the hospital and then Vasikaran explains him how Chitti is useful and how he successfully implemented or implanted feelings to Chitti. Then Mr. Dora says, now the actual troubles will begin. After seeing Sana kissing Chitti, Chitti starts feeling the expression of love and starts loving Sana. Later that night, being reminded of Sana and her thoughts, he then goes to Sana's house and won't leave her until she gives a kiss to him. Following day, underground gangsters who gave Mr. Dora the advance to share robotic technology with them will arrive at his laboratory and threatens him to kill if he don't deliver the product of completed robo within time. Mr. Dora feels afraid and panic because he does not have a completed robo to share with them. However, he manages to take a month time to hand over the robots as originally planned. The gangsters leave the place after giving a final warning to Mr. Dora. On the other hand, Mr. Vasikaran goes to gold shop to buy gift to Sana for her birthday. Seeing Mr. Vasikaran, Chitti also buys a gift of gold necklace to Sana. He also gets ready in the same way as Mr. Vasikaran does. Mr. Vasikaran feels a bit jealous and a bit confused about Mr. Chitti's behavior. After the birthday party, Chitti proposes to Sana and Mr. Vasikaran feels angry and tries to get into fight with Chitti. However, Sana explains to Chitti that a robot and a human cannot be in love, that is against the nature. Chitti tries to understand and process the words being said by Sana and Mr. Vasikaran. He goes to the laboratory. Inside the laboratory, he comes across the hologram image of Mr. Dora. He feeds him all negative thoughts and also mentions that there is nothing wrong in loving Sana and he can love Sana. Chitti go by Mr. Dora words and start loving Sana seriously. Following day, Mr. Vasikaran presents Chitti for army evaluation. Instead of performing the task required for army evaluation, Chitti starts doing strange things such as saying love-related poems. Seeing this, entire army officials start laughing at Chitti and Vasikaran. By this act of Chitti, Mr. Vasikaran feels outraged with anger and dismantles Chitti by breaking all of his body parts and throw him in the garbage. Later, Mr. Vasikaran gets engaged with Sana to get married soon. That night, Mr. Dora goes to the dump yard in search of Chitti, but to his disappointment, he don't find any of the parts relating to Chitti, and he starts traveling back. In the meantime, he hears Robo voice from his back seat saying, Drop me at Mr. Dora's laboratory. Save me. After seeing Chitty, Mr. Dora is filled with joy and he takes Chitty to his laboratory and copies his schema and reassembles Chitty with the help of Mr. Vasikaran's assistant. Later, Mr. Dora inserts a destruction chip into Chitty with the intention of utilizing him for his own benefit, while entire bad name goes to Mr. Vasikaran for creating Chitty the Robo. Mr. Dora also plans to make huge sum of money from underground gangsters by using Chitty. Immediately after he's brought to life, Chitty asks about Sana and the team mentions that Sana is getting married to Mr. Vasikaran. Robo immediately visits Mandap and kidnaps Sana by beating up Mr. Vasikaran. A team of police officers tries to save Sana from Mr. Chitty. However, no one will succeed in saving Sana and Chitty takes Sana with him successfully. Chitty also prepares his own army with the robots available at Mr. Dora's laboratory, and he is the boss and all the other robots serve him as his servant. Seeing this entire thing, Mr. Dora questions Chitty and asks him to listen to Mr. Dora and do as he says, and also threatens to kill Sana if he doesn't listen to him. Seeing all of this, Chitty kills Mr. Dora. Chitty then takes Sana to a different place with all the facilities that are required for Sana, and he also intimidates Sana to love him and also says that she has no other option. She is bound to love him. Chitty secures Sana in such a way that no one can reach her without his knowledge. However, Mr. Vasikaran disguises as one of the servant robots of Chitty and enters Sana's cabin and tells her his plan. Later, as suggested by Mr. Vasikaran, Sana behaves as if she is in love with Chitty and also says she is accepting Chitty as her husband. Mr. Vasikaran cuts power supply to the entire city to ensure that the power supply will not reach the robots. As per his plan, entire robot community starts losing power, but they find few cars on the road. By using the battery, they get power. After this incident, Robo catches the true intentions of Sana and the existence of Mr. Vasikaran in his army. When he is about to kill Mr. Vasikaran, the police department comes in there and start fighting. This creates a vision breach for Chitty and Vasikaran escapes. Following this, a huge fight breaks out between the human army and the robo army. While the fight is going on, Mr. Vasikaran transmits Trojan into the robots, but Chitty identifies this in time and revives all the robots. Later, Chitty and his team follows Mr. Vasikaran with the intention to kill him. However, Mr. Vasikaran manages to capture Chitty on his magnetic wall and dismantles him. Further, takes the red chip out of his body. Following this, the court decides to dismantle Chitty. Considering the destruction being caused by Chitty, the court rules that Chitty is ahead of the generation. Currently, we don't need such an advanced robot in the human community. Hearing this court order, everyone who are close to Chitty feels very sad that they have to leave Chitty. After removing red chip from his body, Chitty will become normal and a good robo as he was earlier. For the final time, Chitty communicates with all the people who are close to him and dismantles himself on the instructions of Mr. Vasikaran and later placed in the Artificial Intelligence Museum for display.